Good morning, everybody. Kyle Davis here, Integrity Financial Group, your retirement experts for Millennials and Generation X. Wonderful to see you this morning on an issue that's come up recently due to COVID. And I've heard this from a few of my clients and a few people out and about as well. A lot of 401ks have suspended their matches during COVID-19 as a result of the virus. In fact, according to the Plan Sponsor Council of America, 16.1% of employers have suspended matching contributions due to COVID-19. This is based off a blog article we wrote. If you want to see the whole thing, it's available at financialservicesamerica.com/blog. You can check the whole thing out for yourself. But I wanted to walk you through a couple of points that I thought were particularly important, especially for young workers, right? Because when you're really just getting going in the first 10, 15 years of your career life, that's pretty critical. That's pretty critical. And just due to the nature of how investing and retirement and putting money away for the future and interest and compounding, just by the nature of how all of that works, it's those early contributions in life that have the most time to do the most work. For example, if I'm sitting over here 25 years old in my very first, real career, and I make, a $5,000 contribution that year to my 401k. That's a lot for a 25-year-old, I'll admit. But let's just say, that $5,000 contribution is going to have a lot more time to earn interest and do work than, say, if someone is over here at 60, 5, 7, 10 years out from retirement, and they do a $5,000 contribution then. Which one of those people has the potential to earn more interest? Well, just due to the nature of time, the younger worker. So it's very, very important early on to get a real grasp on things and get a real understanding of why those plans are in place, why they're important, and how they're going to affect your retirement in the long haul. So if your employer has recently adjusted their 401k plan, you're very wise to read into it and consider, what do you need to be doing? Are there any actions you should take? What's going on? Because the impact is real. The impact is real. Now, some businesses are service-based, call center-based, big corporate type things that are easy, work remotely from home, or even mid-sized businesses that work that way. The transition has not affected those businesses as much as, let's say, a retail business. Foot traffic pretty much disappeared between March and May. Wouldn't you agree? Those businesses that rely on foot traffic and rely on their physical locations were impacted the most. So the 401k was often the first thing to go as far as, how do we make this work? How do we save on costs? How do we keep everybody employed? And we'll come back to that later. Because even as states have been relaxing measures, we're still in a pretty volatile time. People are not spending like they used to. People are not going out like they used to. And that impacts businesses in a lot of ways. And I was asked, hey, is that even legal? Is my employer allowed to suspend their 401k contribution? The answer is yes. In most cases, it is legal for an employer to suspend their 401k matching contributions, even though, it's a really, really important thing and an important part of their benefits to retain and attract talented people. It has been an issue. And fortunately, what in most cases has happened is those matches have been suspended instead of the plan being ripped apart altogether, although that has happened in some circumstances. Communication is key. For example, if an employer has to cut that match simply to keep everybody on payroll and communicates that effectively, well, that's a much better situation. That's a much more open and honest situation, wouldn't you agree? However, if your employer offers to make matches to a safe harbor 401k, they do have to offer that notice within a certain time frame. So that may be something to ask about. So what should you do if your 401k matching contributions have been suspended? Well, first and foremost, don't panic. These things happen. It's probably only temporary. It's a sign of the times. Think of it as a battle scar. You have lived through this at this point. You have lived through the up and down volatile market of 2020. And, oh man, my 401k even got suspended for a while, but we got back on track. It's a sign of the times. It's something that'll come up in conversation 10 years and you'll think back and say, oh wow, yeah, I remember that year when everything got stopped and cut off. Boy, we were really worried about that back then. While it does matter, do resist the urge to panic. And you're not alone. You're not alone. You may even be thinking, should you drain your 401k to compensate for maybe issues, lack of cash flow, etc. And through the CARES Act, you actually have the ability to do so penalty-free, but I would urge you to not look to that first. Make decisions about money objectively. Don't follow emotional reactions or trends. Like I always say, take stock of your personal economy, what's happening at home with you, and not follow the crowd. Look at it from just what your family and yourself needs perspective. And ask your financial advisor for input. My gosh, that's why we're here. We're here to answer questions. We're here to help. We're here to keep you on track. So if there's any doubts, if there's any, misunderstandings or interpretation or hey, I just need help understanding what this means, ask your financial advisor for input. That is why we're here, folks. If you don't have a financial advisor, guess what? You can get on my calendar for a 30-minute call for free. How about that? You can reach out, financialservicesamerica.com, or call us up. Maybe revisit your portfolio. This could be a good time to actually take stock of what your portfolio is doing. In fact, with COVID being such a volatile year, it's really put into perspective, wow, hey, a lot of my investments have really moved down and then up and then down again and such. Depending on where you're at in your financial journey, your retirement plan, younger, middle age, older, this may be a good time to revisit your portfolio and revisit your level of risk that you're taking in your portfolio. That is also something we can help you with if you need it, by the way. And this may sound counterintuitive, but the last point I will offer today, if your match has been suspended, consider making up for it yourself. In other words, consider upping your 401k contributions. It may sound weird, but if you have, for example, started working from home, or your hours have been cut, but your expenses have gone down in other ways, like some of the things I just mentioned. Makes sense, doesn't it? Won't affect your net take-home cash flow, or what rather, it will affect your take-home cash flow, but it won't affect your household budget. If you were budgeting for gas, tolls, lunches out, and then all of a sudden you're not doing those things, well, that's a savings. And if your 401k contribution, matching contributions have been cut, maybe look at those things. In fact, my wife and I were just talking about this the other day. We estimated that between gas, tolls, because her route to work is an awfully expensive toll road, but it's worth it. Between gas, tolls, and lunches, we estimated that she is saving possibly $20 a day just by being able to work from home. That's pretty significant. I mean, you do the math on that. That's a lot of money. That could be a lot of money. Talk about 4-day being at the office, 4 times 20, that's a week, $80. 80 times 4, typical 4 weeks. There you go. $320 a month just by not having to travel to work. Could you use that to up your 401k contributions if your match has been cut? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to leave it there for you today. If you have any questions or need any help navigating your 401k or possibly changes that have happened, you can reach us online, financialservicesamerica.com. We offer a free, no obligation consultation. Follow us on social media. Check us out on YouTube if that's not where you're seeing this. I'm going to sign off for today, guys. Be safe, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.